Lamar Jackson is struggling, Sean. Is this injuries or is this a athletic run first quarterback that's played 8 years and now he's going to start backing up because it after 8 years it's finally too much.
I think because of his track record of success, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. If this persists into next year, I think we can circle back around to this topic. But a guy that's won 2 of the last 3 MVPs, I think, probably should have had 3 in a row last year. Statistically, that was his best year to year, finished second to Josh Allen. He's been injured. He missed games, came back, looks unwilling to use his athleticism, which makes me think that he's trying to guard against further injuring whatever his ailment is. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but we'll circle back around this time next year if the decline hasn't adjusted back to the norm.
Trevor Lawrence, what's the matter with him?
Has never been held accountable for his deficiencies. Incubated at Clemson, now exposed to any of the criticism or ridicule. Drafted number 1. As bad as Urban Meyer was, got Urban Meyer fired. Came in, had a little success with Doug Peterson, got the big contract way too early. Then got Doug Peterson fired. Now he's on his way to get Liam Cohen fired. So there'll be 3 coaches, in his first, 6-7 years at the rate he's going. But he's a very frenetically wired player. And I don't think you can play that position if you can't be calm when it's chaotic. It's the thing that worries me about Bo Nix. If you watch Trevor Lawrence, he's got this wild look in his eyes, like this, everything's moving fast kind of disposition. And it makes a lot of mistakes because of it. Bad decisions. He's very inaccurate, throwing the football on a consistent basis. And I'm not sure he's ever really been coached because he's been this size, this talented since high school. And he's kind of gotten away with the skill set for a long time now. And nobody's held him accountable for some of the fundamental flaws he has, some of the bad decisions he makes, like really holding his feet to the fire. Like, you can't do this. If you do this again, you coming out the game. That's a different pressure. See, me and you were faced with that at times as a player. Like, if you don't go flat on this pool, Whitlock, come over here next to me. He's never been faced with the threat of being benched for his deficiencies. And now, that you paid him, it's even harder to pull back the reins now. But maybe he gets a coach in there that's really going to get after him, which I think will be the best thing for his career. But if not, he's just going to be one of these guys that makes a whole lot of money that never really came close to living up to what the potential and talent looked like it could be.
You make an excellent point. I've said this for years. You can be too talented. You want to be super talented, but you don't want to be next level talented. It undermined Wilt Chamberlain. That's why he didn't win as many championships as he should. This will sound crazy, but it undermined LeBron James too much talent. Or if he had a tiny bit less. If he were 2 inches shorter, 6'6", like Michael Jordan, I think he would have been a better player, more successful player. Not that he hasn't been incredibly successful. I grew up with Jeff George, as talented a quarterback as there's ever been. Too talented. Sometimes the game comes too easy for certain players, and they can never. That's why, again, Tom Brady getting drafted in the 6th round or 7th round, whatever he did, it's the greatest blessing that ever happened to the guy. And the fact that he didn't have every athletic gift made him prepare, work harder than a guy with too much talent. Finally, Sean, what do you think's going on with Jalen Hurts?
Shout out to Jalen Hurts. I think he might be the most underappreciated player in the National Football League. Like, the infrastructure it takes to develop as a young quarterback, here's what it looks like. You get drafted by a team. You have the same offensive coordinator and O-line coach at minimum your first 3 years. It's what made Peyton great. He had Tom Moore and Howard Mudd. Outside of the fact that Peyton was talented, he had the same OC and O-line coach the first decade in the league. Jalen Hurts has changed coordinators the last 4 years. Shane Steichen got the coach job. Then it was Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson got fired. Kellen Moore came in. Kellen Moore gets the Saints job. Now it's, I think, Kevin Patullo is the guy's name. And I'm not making excuses for Jalen, but I'm saying that to say when you spend every offseason learning a new system as opposed to focusing on fixing some of your deficiencies, to find a way to still be successful, get to 2 Super Bowls, outplay Mahomes in the Super Bowl you lost, and then outplay Mahomes again a year and a half after and win MVP, I don't think he gets enough credit. Is he a finished product? Absolutely no. I would love to see what Jalen Hurts could do from a development standpoint if Philly could finally give him continuity, meaning be in the same system for multiple years. So it's not I'm learning a new system, I'm learning new verbiage. It's I'm working on where I need to get better, which is throwing the ball on time, in rhythm, in the traditional passing game.
Holy cow. Football seems to be getting out of control and seems to be all about these foot brawls. And I'm not sure, and I'm asking you all in the audience to help me think this through, because I was thinking about it last night, thinking about it this morning. It's like, is this stuff being shoved in our face? Has football become more violent and more inappropriate where they can't contain the violence? Or is social media just putting it in our face? Have these things been going on forever? And they have been. When I was in high school, I think did we get in a fight at Broad Ripple? I can't remember. It may have been Broad Ripple High School. And then in college, we had a brawl against Indiana State that was pretty serious. Guys got in trouble. But it just feels like right now, whether guys are spitting in each other's face. I think Jamar Chase is coming off a 1-game suspension. Jamar Chase just issued an apology for spitting at Jalen Ramsey. You have that. There's a Colorado State quarterback this past weekend that spit on an opponent. And this just you just don't expect this from a quarterback. A quarterback of a college football team spits in someone's face. We've had the Grambling Bethune-Cookman brawl. That was all over the internet, and we talked about it on this show. In high school, I just saw this weekend, or maybe it was last week. I think it was this weekend. Mississippi State private school. Yeah, it was just this past weekend, I believe, where the coach on the sideline. Here's the quarterback running a scramble play or running out of bounds, and the coach gives the quarterback a shove, and the next thing you know, he throws a football trying to hit the coach, hits the back of a player. Next thing you know, there's a brawl on the sideline. This is at the high school level. I think this is like 2 private schools. Then earlier in the season, remember the big fat kid that looked like me that did a belly flop on an opponent? What are we doing? What is going on? Or is this just social media making all of this available? Has this been going on in football at this rate for a long time, and we just never saw it, heard about it, or would be very isolated and just stayed local news? Has social media, is this part of a campaign to further demonize football? Or is this a reflection of just like there's a lack of respect and there's so much disrespect and so much division within American culture and within sports culture that sports no longer brings us together. It just accentuates the divide. And whether it be black on black athletes, or whether it's black athletes on white athletes, or whether it's these private schools in Mississippi with a bunch of white kids, what is going on in sports.